Okay, Mr. President, we will want to get in on that particular point you've made, but I'll let Fatima Akilu to ask another question.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask about the issue of public trust. You have young people growing up today who are used to seeing their parents become their own local government authority. In effect, they're bypassing government because they're providing their own electricity, their own security, their own water, and they're paying for their children's education. So my question to you is, how do you now explain to this 10-year-old that the savings that will accrue to us from the fuel subsidy will mean that in 1 decade their life will be different from their life of the parent, and that they can expect services from government?
Fatima, thank you. We are doing this so that people will begin to have confidence in government. Let me use our elections, for example. Myself and the Vice President, when we were already in office, when we contested the elections in April, and during our campaign, we openly said that nobody should rig election for us. And people were surprised. I know friends who came to me and said, we'll get to them and say, does the president know what he's talking about? They had presidents on television saying that nobody should rig election for him. Does he know what he's talking about? Please tell president not to say that again. We don't want him to be disgraced out of office. But we insisted, and we said that nobody should rig election for us. We worked very hard. You are witnesses. We worked very hard, and we are here today. And some of you who have been interacting with your colleagues from other countries, I have received a lot of encomiums. People say, look, Nigeria, you've done well. Because though there were some issues during the election, some people even died, but then from the reports from the security and intelligence and foreign media, all the foreign observers, the report was that they've been coming to Nigeria, even people who have been overtly critical of Nigeria. So they've been coming, they've been witnessing the election. This is the time they've gone to a polling station where they saw people being counted, then people queue up, people were accredited, they voted, they pour it in basin, and they pick one after the other and count. This is ACN, PDP, this and that. The elections are okay. The remaining thing is to fight corruption. And I remember, I don't want to mention names, I remember when some of the powerful presidents, leaders of this world told me that, look, Mr. President, look, of course sometimes because my name is Good Luck, it's simple, so they will just call me by my first name. Look, Good Luck, you've done very well in these elections. There are two things. Nigeria is a great country. The way you put things in order, Nigeria will really, really grow. Fight corruption and start doing other things properly. And you see that the system will take off. So the issue of, you're talking about confidence by the young people. We cannot continue to run a society where the young people will have no confidence in us. If I told people that I will use myself as an experimental animal, as a guinea pig, to stay in office, conduct elections that will be free and fair, and if I fail, I fail. And I said that my name will go into history as an African president that conducted free and fair election and he was voted out for one reason or the other. That, in fact, all the people I discussed with, I told them, I don't hide my feelings. Even if I fail, I'll make history. Somehow, at least, another president has made the history. Probably I would have made I know a country, my friend who lost the election in Zambia, a sitting president in Africa. And I said, that is development. Before, you cannot expect an African president to conduct election and lose. He will announce the result in his office. And anybody who wants to go to work can go to work. So things are changing. People are yet to appreciate. But even in our country, I know the pains Nigerians are passing through. And I'm not happy. I used to tell people, I cannot stay here as a president of Nigeria, stay here for 4 years and walk away. And the pains continue. And we cannot stop these pains if we don't begin to do things rightly. The only thing, we cannot continue to borrow money and approach development issue vegetatively, crawling like a snail, and think you will reduce the pains. No.
Mr. President, if you want to go into the points you've raised, they're fantastic, but if we want to go into the specifics of what Fatima was just asking in terms of what will the government really do for the growing children, our children, your children, and the next generation, what will we do to ensure that something changes in the next 10 years?
We don't want to wait till 10 years. 10 years is a lot of time. We know 4 years is a very short time. But I believe in the next 4 or 5 years, if we do things properly, things will change. Now we import a greater part of the rice we eat in this country. And rice is one food that there's no geopolitical zones that you will not be in position to produce enough rice for their consumption. When I was a deputy governor, I was a part of President Obasanjo's rice team, and we traveled across the whole country. There's no zone in Nigeria that will not be able to produce enough rice. Even by Bayelsa State that don't have land, there is enough land to produce rice that will feed the whole South. Not just to talk about Bayelsa State. From studies during the after the independence, because they have a massive rice farm in a place called Peremambre. So during the eastern region, these are studies, not me. It was done that time. You see, but we are now saying, if you listen to the Minister of Agri, we are saying that, look, even before we leave, like before the end of this government, what I mean by before the end of this government, as 29th of May, one thing we want to make sure is that we should stop importation of rice. We are saying that power, this idea that except you get generator, you will not have power. You mentioned about the kids. We want to make sure that even before we leave, Nigerians, yes, people may still have standby generator because we have a big country. But at least the ordinary Nigerians will have no reason to have a standby generator. The one they call I better pass my neighbor. I think that's a nickname for some small generators. A young man or a lady doing hairdressing or running a salon should not buy generator. See, there are certain things that are quick wins that you can achieve in 4 years' time. You don't need to wait for 10 years. 10 years is a lot of time.
Your Excellency, what would be the quick wins? Would we say that 1.4 trillion, what percentage of it will go into electricity to guarantee that in the next 6 months we'll see this level of difference?